Hey everyone, I've got a new desk, and you know what that means? Desk tour. So in my job as a software developer, I spend a lot of time at my desk, and then after work, I continue to spend a lot of time at my desk. It's probably my most visited area in the whole house, except for maybe bed. Actually, I'd probably spend more time here at the desk. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So to start off with, let's talk about the tabletop. And I got the IKEA Carlby walnut veneer kitchen countertop, which, as the name suggests, is obviously originally designed to be put in your kitchen. Anyway, I've purposed it here. It's a good size. It's 186.5 centimeters wide by 63.5 centimeters deep. And it's a really nice walnut veneer finish. So veneer is just a few millimeters of wood and it's on this particle board underneath. But regardless of that, it's got a really nice quality to it. And that sits on top of some Zen Space desk legs. So Zen Space Desks is a company here in Australia and they make standing desks. And so what I was able to do was buy their matte black stand-up frame kit and install that to the tabletop. And so it's a pretty easy instruction. You can watch my video up here about those legs. And basically installed it, and that turned this tabletop into a standing desk. The legs absolutely take the weight, including the weight of everything else on the desk, and it's really good to be able to go up and down throughout the day. If I get uncomfortable or restless with sitting, I can go to that standing position, or I can sit back down if I can't bother to stand anymore. And it's just, it takes only 20 seconds to go up and down. It's super quiet. So let's move right to left, or left to right across the desk. So we'll start off, the first thing I can see is the Swan M10 speakers. The left one in this case, but I've got them across the whole desk. So this is a 2.1 channel speaker system I got quite a few years ago now, and I've also got a review about them up here. And these speakers, they come in this black finish with a little bit of kind of a beige color in the speaker. They sound really good. I've had them for, like I said, quite a few years, and they just connect through to the monitor via a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. They allow you to change the subwoofer volume, whether your bass is loud or not. And they've also got a bright volume knob on the front. One thing I don't like about the speakers is the volume knob lights up blue with LEDs. I'm sure there's some way I could, solder it or something to get rid of it. But it's just, I'd prefer just to have things that don't have any color at all, or if it has to have a color, just white. Moving right along, I've got a couple of plants. I got them from the shop Bunnings here in Australia, as well as got an IKEA pot for one of them. It's good to just add a little bit of greenery into your room. This whole room is basically just white, black, and wood colored, so it's good to get a bit of an accent color in there as well. I really like having real plants across the place because it's nice to see them grow, and you've got to water them, and I feel like there's some probably health benefits with it as well. Although I am finding I'm getting these little bugs sometimes from them, so we need to spray some pesticide or something on them. Moving along, I've got just a cup full of pens. And then on top of the middle channel for the Swan M10 speakers, I've got a Google Home Mini. I basically use this to control the lights within this room, as well as just set reminders, pause and play the music across the whole house, just general things like that. Actually got that free for having a Google Nest subscription for the cameras, so that was kind of handy. Moving along, I've got my two monitors, and so they're the Dell U2515H monitors, which are 2560 by 1440 in resolution. And I've got them both connected to the Razer Core X, which is an external graphics card for the MacBook Pro. Within the Razer Core X, you put in whatever graphics card that you'd like. Obviously, it needs to be compatible with your computer. So for me, using a Mac, I needed to use an AMD graphics card. I basically just picked the cheapest one I could find on Facebook, which was a Radeon RX 570 from AMD. And I found this for $100 because it had been mined on by someone else, crypto mined. But I don't really mind because all I'm using it for is driving displays here. I used to have 3 of these U2515Hs in my old setup, if you've seen that video. But I decided with this new desk, because I can't wall mount anything, so I've got windows directly behind me. But 2, I thought 2 monitors was probably enough. And since moving, having the 2 monitors as well as a laptop screen, I haven't found myself reaching for another screen yet. Those monitors are sitting on a dual monitor arm, so you just clamp that to the desk and then you attach your 2 monitors to it. And they've got a little bit of routing so you can put your cables through it so they're not so pronounced. I guess the problem with having a standing desk like this, and the standing desk that I got to actually put wheels on so I can move it around the room. The problem with a desk like this is when I move it back, you can actually see all behind the desk. So I can't just hide cables against the wall or anything. I really need to make sure that they're kind of neat enough. They aren't perfect and you can still see cables, especially if you go around to the back. There's really no getting around that because there's no back there. Moving along, driving my whole setup, like I alluded to earlier, is a 15-inch MacBook Pro from the start of 2019. So it was just right before they released one last performance upgrade, and then they moved to the 16-inch MacBook Pros. But this is pretty specced out. I got a Core i7, it's a 6-core processor. I got 32 gigs of RAM, there's a Radeon Vega 20 graphics, and I got 2 terabytes of solid state storage, which was ultra expensive, but I love not having to carry around a portable hard drive with me, and I don't ever really have to worry about space. I also run Windows on my Mac, which is not the ideal, but I need it for work sometimes. So that takes up a lot of space as well. So it's good to have enough space that I can allocate to a partition for Windows without having to sacrifice anything on the Mac side. Finally, you'll notice behind me I've got a microphone arm, which is just something I got off eBay. It was pretty cheap, but I attached the Rode NT USB microphone to that and then ran a big long USB cord back to my computer. This microphone sounds awesome. I often use it for video calls, and I've recorded voiceovers and things off it. It's got a really deep, rich sound, and I don't need anything external to get that to work with the computer. I can just plug it straight in. I've never really had the point where I wished it wasn't a USB plug and it was XLR, because that would just involve me having to get out the audio interface like I'm using right now for this camera to be able to run this microphone. Whereas if it's just USB, plug it into any computer, and it just works straight away. What I was really going for with the laptop was a one cable solution. So that's why I ended up getting that external graphics card, so I can just plug in one cable and it plugs in all the monitors. Unfortunately, there's no USB hub or any USB ports involved with using an external graphics card like the Razer Core X. So if I do want to use that microphone, which is USB, I do have to plug in a second cable, which is a little bit annoying. So generally what I do is use Bluetooth headphones, and they've got a microphone in them. But I know if I want to increase that audio quality, or it's particularly loud in my environment, I move to that USB microphone. Finally, attached to my desk is also another laptop stand. So this is basically another monitor arm that I got that clamps to the desk. But instead of having a monitor attached to it, what I've done is attached a laptop stand. So the laptop stand is just a normal VESA mounting, so the exact same screws that you'd use to mount a monitor, but instead I put my laptop on it. This allows me to push my laptop out of the way, line it up with the other monitors, so it's not such a visual difference looking down at the monitor, down at the laptop and then up at the monitor. But it also allows me to put stuff underneath, so I get a little bit more desk room not having to have my laptop there, and yet I can still use the screen of the laptop. In terms of peripherals, like I said before, I wanted to go with the one cable solution, so everything I've got here is Bluetooth. And I've just got the Apple Magic Keyboard, standard keyboard that you'd buy from Apple, you've probably seen it 100 times, and the Logitech MX Master, another mouse that's classic in setups like this. There are upgraded versions of the MX Master. There's the MX Master 2, the 2S, and the 3 now, but I haven't really found a compelling reason yet to upgrade. If this mouse ever breaks down, that's definitely the mouse I'll go for, because I really like the mouse and I really like all the settings on them and all the different buttons. So I've actually set the buttons to control my music and change the volume, which is a really handy feature. Finally, all these accessories are sitting on this big mouse pad that I found on Amazon, which I can just link down below. It doesn't really have a brand, but I just wanted something to basically rest everything on, and so it doesn't slide around. And it's better than the mouse pad that I used to have, which was from Razer and had green accents and didn't really fit the theme of my desk setup. So that's my desk setup. I was really excited to get this set up. For a really long time I've wanted a setup that's basically taken up the whole room, wasn't just a corner in my bedroom. And I was really excited to get a standing desk and really just a massive tabletop that was kind of higher quality than that IKEA desk that I used to have. And I just have a lot of room to spread out and really customize the setup how I like. So having this really big desk setup, having a standing desk, is just a really nice place to do work, be focused on what you're doing, not get distracted with anything. And then when I'm finished for the day, or finished doing work stuff, I can leave the room, shut the door, and I've switched off from work. In addition to that, I've added a lot of things around this room, and I'm really setting up this office to be exactly how I want it. Optimal for work and optimal for doing filming like this and getting filming straight away. If you're interested in seeing something around the rest of the room, I'm happy to make another video about this if you leave a comment down below. I've done a few cool things. I've set up a couple of pegboards actually. And I'm really trying to optimize it for basically maximum productivity and maximum efficiency, and I'd be interested in sharing some of those tips with you. Anyway, if you enjoyed this desk setup video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below to Technologetic.